Hey guys, how's it going? Here's another story of, while I was in high school. Well, let's think about it for a little bit. I told a little bit about my childhood. I told a little bit about, you know, moving to Georgia, having to say goodbye to old friends, attempting to make new ones, and then of course having to move again within the first 3 years of living down here to another part of Georgia. It wasn't really another part of Georgia. It was just a county over. But I went to high school. Um, I started high school in 2008. Now, before I went to high school, we had to take the Georgia State test for I can't remember what it was called. It was like the CRCT or some shit. And you have to take that in middle school. Unfortunately, I failed. I can't remember what test it was. It might have been math, which surprisingly enough was my best subject when I was in high school. So math and history, that is, math, history, and a little bit of literature. But so I had to go back to the middle school I went to. They, for whatever reason, didn't allow me to take this test at a different middle school. I had to go on some random ass day in the middle of the fucking summer and literally spend like 3 days trying to retake this one test. So I don't know why I had to spend 3 days at the school, or two, or I can't remember how many days it was. I'm pretty sure it was like 2 or 3. But I spent like 2-ish days there, and the friends that I had there, I was telling them that hey, I had already moved over to the county, and as soon as I pass this test, I'll be going to this and that, or I'll be going to this brand new school that will be opening up this year in this county. It was pretty exciting, really, because it was a brand new school. I get to meet a bunch of new people, and hey, I would have to feel sorry for myself because everybody else will be meeting a lot of new people as well. Because I don't know if these people had went to the same middle school or whatnot. I didn't really assume much of anything, so I pretty much assumed that hey, everybody's going to be new here. Nobody's not really going to know anybody, so it's going to be the first year of just nothing happening. And believe it or not, the very first year of my high school, um, or the freshmen before me, had to go through their first year classes in the middle school that was down the street, which it was just walking distance from where the high school is now. But it was really, really crazy. So they had to literally go to this middle school and just be there throughout their entire freshman year. It was half-ass backwards. I don't know why they didn't finish the school and then start the high school stuff, but it was really, really crazy. So when I first went to this high school, though, I didn't entirely have the Death Eater thing down. I was still doing shows on the weekends on Blog TV, and I was still doing Roblox, but I hadn't started YouTube just yet. I'd started YouTube in 2009, and after that, that was really when a lot of the things actually got started. Unfortunately, because I was very, very dumb, I didn't pass many classes when I was in my first freshman year, and I had to be a freshman again. So I literally took 5 years in middle school, which it's not that bad, but come to think about it, I was just trying to like get used to this whole I moved down from Indiana thing still. So I didn't really think much of it. And believe it or not, my freshman year of high school was when I first met my good friend Spike. So me and him first met in a computer class, got along, and then, you know, the next year happened, and I didn't see him, you know, for the entire year. Apparently, he got he no, I don't want to say apparently because he did get homeschooled. And I didn't find out about it until my sophomore year, my official sophomore year, when I met him again in the same lunch that I had with him. We met again, and for whatever reason, I was finishing my lunch, and then I turn around, and then here I see Spike, and I'm sitting there like, do I know you? And he's sitting there like, I think you do. So we meet up again and we talk about, you know, what's been happening for the past year that we have been, you know, not in class together. I eventually got his Skype information, and we were basically, well, it was either Skype information or I got his number, and then we got Skype information. But meeting up with Spike was probably, you know, well, I mean, I want to say the best thing ever. I think it was more or less the times we got to spend together through the sleepovers and stuff, playing literally nothing but Guitar Hero, Halo, and, you know, a bunch of other games that he kind of got me in as well. He didn't get me to Guitar Hero. That was actually a conversation that kind of sparked our long-term friendship with each other. So, you know, if you ever want to know how me and Spike became the best friends of all time, it was literally because of Guitar Hero. So, thanks, Guitar Hero. But anyways, going back to, you know, being one Death Eater throughout my whole high school career, like I said, I was in high school for 5 years. So, being one Death Eater for a little over 5 years, or a little less than 4 years, I should say, excluding the blog TV stuff, it was, at first, it was very, very frowned upon with a lot of the teachers and a majority of the students that found out that, hey, I'm one Death Eater. At first they were like, why the hell are you named one Death Eater? And, you know, I wasn't very liked, you know, and since my YouTube channel was found by these guys, you know, word started spreading around that, hey, this guy's one Death Eater, you know, don't watch his stuff. Don't really know why they did that, but it was whatever. But it was, I remember to this point that, you know, the principal of the school at the time did not like my YouTube channel at all. And pretty much watched it like a hawk. And sure enough, I get called to the principal's office, and they send me down first from the office to the other side of the school, to where the security guard office was. Now, the security guard that we had his own office, and that's where I was sent. And in that, while I was there, the principal was there, the security officer was there, and they pretty much told me, all right, look, we need to ask you a few questions about a certain video you made. And I didn't act very, very surprised because it was pretty much common knowledge that, hey, I'm one Death Eater, so I might as well not even just not even pretend to be like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, because I was trying to like, be like, I know the guy that does One Death Eater, and unfortunately, I sound very much like the guy that plays One Death Eater. So they talked to me about a video that I made. Now this video, I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's deleted. I was pretty much forced to delete it, or suffer the consequence of getting expelled from school. So, getting expelled for a video of me literally talking smack about the principal that was there. Now, I'm not going to name names, mostly for the fact that I don't remember their names. But I remember that there was an assembly that all of the girls in the sophomore year had to attend for whatever reason. And the rumors that were spreading around was that they were getting some kind of treatment or whatever. What I didn't know was that it was all about, I think it was sexual harassment or some shit like that. And I think it was one of the students got sexually harassed, and that was the whole assembly, I think. But I can't really go into too much detail, mostly because I can't remember what happened during that assembly, since, again, none of the guys were allowed to go. It was just girls within my grade, so it was all that. So it was really, really weird. It sparked a major conversation, one of which I was just sitting there like, well, I'm not going to take a fucking stand to it. If the girls in this grade is going to get a special fucking treatment, then I'm sure as hell not going to fucking allow it to happen. So I was literally just talking smack about the principal, and I think it was like 2 days later I got called to the front office to talk about this video that I did about talking smack about the principal, and literally demanded that I take this video down. We're going to call your parents, let them know that you made this video. And I was just sitting there like, oh God, why would you fucking get them involved? I would have literally just complied, and that would have been enough. But no, they literally called my dad, in turn called my mom to, now both my parents know that I made this video talking shit about the principal. And when my mom got home, I was already headed to the computer to delete the video. And she was, going into that room and be like, you need to delete that video. I know, Mom, I know. You need to delete that video right now. And Dad wants you to delete the YouTube channel right now. And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I didn't say that out loud, but I was definitely thinking that, like, within my head. I was sitting there like, look, I'm deleting the video and that's it. I'm just going to put a stop to the videos for a little while. Let everything cool off. My dad gets home on Friday because he's a project manager for a hotel company. So he gets home from one of his trips. I can't remember where he went, and I don't care to remember where he went. But he came home, and of course he aims a lot of his anger towards me because of the video I made, and sitting there like, did you delete the channel? And I'm just sitting there like, I deleted the video, if that's what you were asking about. You need to delete that channel right now. Delete everything that's One Death Eater related, and then just really started talking like I was the bad guy, even though I made an innocent video of me not really knowing what the hell I was talking about, didn't even know what I said, and acted like I was a terrorist. Started saying that one Death Eater is a terrorist name. And I never really, understood why he thought that way, but it was really, really weird. So, I was suddenly attacked because my name was apparently a terrorist name instead of, the guy that tells the truth, tells the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And uses the literal lamp of light versus the dark corrupt. All that fucking shit. And of course, that was like years later, but still, I don't think my parents once watched any of my really, really old videos back when I was still talking shit about my old high school. I do remember that after that day, I deleted everything that pertained to talking about the high school that I went to. So if you were subscribed to my channel between 2009 and 2011, then you kind of missed out on me talking shit about my school. At the same time, getting into a lot of trouble and almost, having to delete my whole YouTube channel because of it. Need I remind you, I was still doing Blog TV. Unfortunately, I had to hang up the mask for a little while and let things cool down. I was not allowed to use the computer for a long time. And they were actually getting ready to get me a laptop too for Christmas. So I was not allowed to get the laptop until my birthday, which was 2 months after Christmas. So, whoopee for me. I got a laptop, and then I started making videos again. I started making videos on my laptop. I just slowly started, making the Death Eater videos that would continue to be the Death Eater versus Crazy Sheepdog thing. I would just start doing them either late at night and while my dad was not at home. So it was a very, very interesting thing. So, my dad literally being like, delete this channel or I'm going to delete it. Literally, those were the words right out of his mouth. Delete the channel or I'm going to delete it. And that's literally when I had I wouldn't say a heart attack, but it felt like I was having a heart attack. It felt like my little world that I had over on YouTube was ending. Because I had made a lot of videos at this point. I had made nearly 200 videos and was celebrating that fact by just, being one Death Eater. It was pretty exciting. I'm just sitting there like, I'm not going to delete this channel. And I wasn't going to tell him I'm not deleting this channel. So what I had done instead was fully restored my laptop. And this was a couple years after the incident as well, because he found out that I was still doing YouTube and demanded, you need to delete the account or I'm going to delete it. And at that point, yeah, I was like a few years like into the Death Eater character. So I'm just sitting there like, I'm not deleting this fucking channel. There's just no way I'm going to do it. So I had to fully, unfortunately, I had to fully restore my computer back to factory settings and not log in to my own YouTube channel for a very, very long time. And it was at this point that I had made another email, and which turned into my main email that I use for all of my personal stuff. that pertains that today I still use as all of my personal stuff to, it's my own personal email for me. So, if I ever gave you my personal email, it's, for that specific reasons, for that specific purpose. It's personal or it's business related. Or, well, no, technically my One Death Eater email is business related. But that's really what happened between the time my dad was literally threatening to delete my YouTube channel, which if I don't log into the One Death Eater email, he's not going to know the password. There ain't no fucking way he's going to know the password, because I'm never going to tell him. And if he intends to do anything, all I had to do is just call the cops and tell him, and tell them, well, my dad's trying to beat a password out of me for no reason. Just because, literally, wanted my YouTube channel to be deleted. Now, I'm not making this video out of spite. I'm not making this video because I'm complaining about my dad, because I fully respect the man today. I mean, he's my dad after all. I only have one dad. So, gotta respect the man that made me who I am today. And because of that, I started making videos just not about the Death Eater character, but just about myself. I started making videos that wasn't pertaining to my personal life, and just started making videos as entertainment, because that's pretty much what inspired me. You know what? Instead of just being a complainer, let's try to entertain someone. So that's what really inspired me to want to become an entertainer, and that's really who I am today. That's what I feel like I am. So, if it wasn't for my dad literally threatening to delete my channel, I would not change from being the literal guy that complains about his high school or his boss. I probably would still be that guy that would just be the complainer, and probably not get a decent job because I'd literally be complaining about my bosses and the shit like that. I started making, or I wouldn't have been making videos purely to entertain. I probably wouldn't become a very intensive gamer as I am now. I probably still would have done like a lot of things that was just pure One Death Eater with just the mask, and probably would have taken down any videos that showed my face to kind of keep the secret of One Death Eater's identity a bit of a secret. So, thanks, Dad. You turned One Death Eater from from what possibly could have been a mask-only channel to a bit of an entertaining vlog channel. Well, this is technically story time. But anywho, besides all of that, I have a lot of other stories to tell that are from my high school days, but unfortunately, I don't have time to tell them all, or else this would probably go on for a couple of hours, and I'm sure nobody wants to hear a story that will last a couple of hours. So why not break it up into multitudes of 20 plus minutes? So that's pretty much that story in a nutshell. I just really wanted to tell this story because it kind of fit the whole narrative of having to deal with bullies, meeting Spike, and then having to deal with some of the aftermath of some of my very early videos. So, a lot of stuff that I'm kind of glad happened, but I kind of wish didn't happen the way it did. But, it did, so we're here today talking about the mistakes I did. So stay tuned for the rest of the month as I will continue to try to pump these stories out as I, think, hey, this would be a good story to tell on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys again for all the support. My Twitch is down in the description below, along with my Patreon link. I'm still trying to get my Discord server kind of refreshed and rebooted, taking down a lot of things that aren't needed for the server right now. And I might add them back if the server ever gets too populated, probably around 1,000 or 2 people. So who knows? I guess time will only tell. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a like. If you're new to the channel, feel free to leave me a subscribe, hit the notification bell. Again, my Twitch is down in the description below. Feel free to follow me on there, hit the notification bell there so you get notified whenever I go live, and notification bell here so you get notified whenever I upload a video. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.